the idea for this indie thing, long story. But I try to like make it as short as possible. Basically what happened was I was doing these short films. And what happened was I was watching or reading something and they were talking about movie trivia. And one of the things that they were talking about was the longest kiss scene in the movie, which was this Nicole Richie movie. I think it was called like Kids in America or something like that. And it has like this 6.5 minute kiss scene at the end of the movie. And I came with the clever idea of what if someone were to beat that record with a short film. So I did this short film. I wrote this movie. It was like 7.5 minutes long with a 7-minute kiss scene. And you know, when I watched it, it just didn't work. Like I don't know if it was. Well, at the time I didn't know if it was because of the actress that I cast. I didn't know if it was the script. I didn't know if it was me because I was in it. And I don't know, somehow it didn't work. And so I tried it a different time, like I rewrote the script, recast the actress, and I tried it a couple different times and it just didn't work. So I scrapped that idea and decided to go on to something else. And what happened was I was used to make these like how-to videos for this company, this internet company that made how-to videos on every subject. And they also gave you the opportunity to write your own how-to video. So I thought I should do a little research and find out like what are the how-to videos that people are watching. So I typed in most popular how-to videos, and what popped up was a lot of kissing videos, like how to kiss passionately, how to kiss seductively, how to kiss like this actress, how to kiss with pizzazz. Like it was how to kiss videos. I mean, it was like hundreds of them, and they all had like thousands and thousands of views. So I came up with this idea called the Kissing Bandit, where it's about this guy who, you know, his girlfriend goes out of town, and so while she's away, he's like going out with all these different girls, and in the end, she comes back and basically kicks his ass along with the other girls. And so I shot this Kissing Bandit project. And I got some good comments, some negative comments, but people were watching it and actually got recognized from it, which was kind of cool. So I thought, okay, you know what, I should make a web series now. And so I came with the idea for this indie thing, which originally it was supposed to be 3 guys and 1 girl. And so what happened was Devon came in and auditioned, and Josh came in and auditioned, and I knew right away I wanted to use them because I thought they were hilarious. So originally the show was going to be me and Devon and Josh and this 1 girl. Sacaar came and auditioned, and I thought he was funny, but he was originally supposed to be like in another group of like our like enemies. So it was gonna be Sacaar, there was gonna be Nadeem, who you see he plays Ryan Saran in episode 2, and this 3rd guy. So we were gonna be like rivals. And 3rd guy was supposed to be this guy who took my girlfriend. But what happened was that actor turned out to be a little difficult. And so I just made the decision not to cast her, which ultimately was a good idea, because that would have been a disaster. But I knew I wanted to use Sacaar for sure, because I was like, this guy is like funny. So what I did was, I was like, okay, I'll make it where it's me, Devon, Josh, and Sacaar, and this girl. And I will take my character out of the equation because he is the type of guy who is not really serious about the business. He's just enjoying making out with the girls, which I was able to tie the Kissing Bandit with my character perfectly. So my character was supposed to just gradually fade out of the picture, and there's going to be the 3 guys and the 1 girl. We shot an episode on Melrose, and I had my friend shoot it, and the project, it didn't look good. You know, it was nobody's fault. It just didn't work. And so I was like, well, we have to reshoot this. The actress, she didn't want to do it anymore. She just was not interested in the project, wasn't returning phone calls, whatever. So then it became the four guys. And so that's how it began.
Antone is a guy who, you know, love comes first for him. You know, he's a struggling actor. He wants to get on, but he has a problem, you know, keeping a woman.
Kevin Kwan, I guess he's like a ladies' man, you know, ex-star in Korea. I took him more as a guy who had a lot of that, I guess, fame and popularity, and so he kind of had an overinflated ego, and he was smooth.
Teddy I think is a guy of convenience. Like, whatever's easy is going to be the route that he's going to take. He comes across as a weasel, but I think to have sympathy for this guy, he just likes the easy way. Like, he likes to talk to the girl that's in front of him at that time, and he likes to run away from her when the time is over. So a lot of people don't admire that kind of person, but I think it's a freer person that can just run away from the things that they don't like.
So Sean is kind of like a director without direction. He doesn't know if he wants to be an actor or a director, and his friends are basically trying to get him to, well, everyone is trying to get him to choose, to pick one, director or actor. Pick one and go with it. And he basically feels like, you know, I want to do both, I'm going to do both.
I don't know. Because I lived close by at the time. I was like 2 blocks away, so I was like, I mean, if anything goes bad, I could just book it out the door and run home, lock myself in my bedroom and cry.
Well, I think I remember calling my mom afterwards and saying, like, I just went to an audition in this guy's house. And that was kind of weird. And but I didn't really have much of a problem with it. I did think it was like a check mark in my head, like, that's kind of weird.
It was funny because, I mean, I had another audition that day, and when I pulled up and I saw it was an apartment, and I was thinking to myself at first, like, nah, I think I'll go to the other audition. But I said, okay, I'll get out, let me try this thing. So I rang the buzzer, and I rang it again. I rang it like 3 times, and it was another girl I was standing there that I auditioned with, and we're looking at each other like, are we auditioning in somebody's apartment? So I decided, I said, man, forget this, I'm about to go. You know, so I walked maybe about 10 feet, and something told me, nah, you need to stay.
I mean, I did see the apartment from the outside, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Called, and I was like, yo, man, am I in the right place? Checking my pockets, like, oh, man, I'm about to get robbed up in this joint. But nah, it was cool. I mean, just go and give it a shot. I mean, I knew it was going to be an independent web project, and, I mean, I'm not expecting to walk into a freaking studio, especially being like kind of on like the beginner to intermediate actor, you know?
I'm not really judgmental, so I figure if I'm thirsty, I'll go anywhere for an audition. And I'm glad I did, because I'm here today.
I think I had auditions at my apartment, partly because of frustration, and yeah, I can go ahead and say part because of a little bit of laziness. Originally, when I started, I would actually pay to rent out audition space, and actors wouldn't show up. I mean, I have like, you know, I'd have space booked for 4 hours, thinking, you know, 150 actors are gonna show up, and it would be like 30 actors, but I have like a space of 4 hours. Dedicated to actors, and they just would not show up. It was just, so I thought that was kind of inconsiderate of actors. And I know there's one space where it's free, and I would do that, and actors still wouldn't show up. So I thought, if they're not gonna show up, then I might as well stay home. I got my TV, I got my computer. I don't have to be like sitting in a small room waiting for actors to show up. Would I go to an apartment audition? I have been to auditions at apartments and auditions at houses. For me, I mean, I don't judge a project based on where the audition is. I mean, I know there's like that safety concern for women and stuff, so I mean, I understand that. But I would say, like, if there's an audition at an apartment and you're a girl, just, I mean, bring somebody with you. That doesn't make sense to miss out on an audition just because it's at someone's house. And if you're not comfortable with that, just bring somebody else. Like, you never know what the project is, and you never know the circumstances as to why they're having auditions at the house. I mean, it could be like a money issue. I know there's a lot of filmmakers out there who don't want to put the money into the, you know, renting space out for an audition, and they'd rather put that into the production. So, I mean, I think that to forgo an audition because of where it's at, I think that's ridiculous.
I like it. I like it because I like it from the standpoint of an actor doing it, because it's sharpening. Like, I'm always able to stay in the moment and it keeps it fresh. And then when I watch the show, it doesn't really seem like improv, but there's an element of spontaneity to the responses. I think it's really natural the way the characters interact, and I think it adds to the authenticity of our performances, that the words come from the actor themselves, and the choices that we make, I think, are natural. Or at least I try to be natural.
Improv is always fun. I mean, I never like thought of becoming a serious actor until I did improv. And I did improv like at UCB, Improv Space, Ultimate Improv, IO. So that's kind of something that I've always enjoyed doing. I love shows like Curb and friggin' Arrested Development, and I don't know, I just think improv is like the funniest stuff you could get. It's like the most natural and kind of raw form of humor you could get. It's just right off the top of your head, you know? What freestyling is to a rapper is what improv is to a comic actor. It's like having a big piece of marble and just kind of joking away and chipping to it, like your sculpture, I guess. Yeah.
Actually, I mean, I love it. I mean, it's good for spontaneity, because I'm a very spontaneous person. You know, you gotta think, and you gotta think quick, fast, and it's gotta make sense. So it helps me grow as an artist.
I think that's cool because it's like a team, and when you're not bringing all that you should and you see somebody else that is, it's kind of inspirational. So it's always like, you know, you're sharpening each other's acts, and I think camaraderie shows on camera. So the more people that you have and the closer that you get to them, it intensifies the connection and the rapport between the actors, and naturally between the characters that we're portraying. So I like that.
Working with an ensemble cast, I think the hardest thing doing like an independent project is probably timing. You know, like getting everyone's schedules together and making sure everyone has time to film. And then especially the nature of the show being a lot more improvisational, it makes it harder to get the timing down so things are clean. So then it became a hard part was getting the timing down and then getting down the actual dialogue we wanted to speak so that we weren't trampling each other's lines, which made it easier for Steve to edit and all that kind of stuff in post-production. But the other thing that's nice is, you know, having a lot of people around and joking around and joking off camera and just, you know, shooting the shit, so to say.
I like it. I do. I really like it. It's fun. You know, I like being in the front seat, watching the next actor perform and get down, learning from him. You know, and I have to watch myself sometimes because I used to step on people's lines, you know. But now I just relax, I take it easy. You know, listen to the next man, feed on him. Since this is improv, you really have to listen, you know, in order for it to make sense. And we have far fewer reshoots. You know, we used to reshoot a lot when we all came together because, you know, it can be challenging, but we worked it out and it's good.
To me, I think it's great, especially with improv, because if you have like strong characters, and I think I cast pretty strong characters, it just makes it easier for people to like play off each other. And the cool thing about the show is there's no real like nobody's like a star like above someone else. Like all of the guys are stars, and it's cool because like if I wanted, like I could probably do like 4 different spin-offs. Like the characters are that strong where they could actually have their own show.
Well, you know what, it's too many really to mention, but what stands out to me is season 1, episode 7, you know, season 2, episode 12, and episode 24. I'm not going to tell you about those for those of you that haven't watched it, but you definitely need to watch it.
My favorite episode, there's honestly 2. I love the support characters. Like I love day player characters. I think sometimes they bring the best stuff. And honestly, episode 25, part 1, I think it's called Melissa. She had me rolling, man. I can't remember the specifics of everything she said, but she had a character that was just, I was dying, and she just like kept trying to help, you know, Sacaar or Teddy, and he kept taking it as an advance to like sleep with him. I just thought it was funny. And then the other one I really liked was, I think, episode 2 or 3 of season 1, where it was that dude that like came with his girlfriend and knew there was gonna be a kissing scene. When he's just like, ah, yeah. I was like, dude, that guy had me rolling. I was like, he's so funny. He was hilarious.
My favorite episode is when Teddy gets his ass handed to him by David Carter's character. I think her character's name is Alexis. When it's the last episode of season 1, and Teddy really gets he's met his match at that point, and she just kind of she reads him from top to bottom, and that's the funniest thing. It was the funniest thing to shoot, and when I watch it, I laugh like hard.
There were a couple episodes that I liked that really stood out. Like, wow, loved that Cookie Teddy Jackson for sure. Because that actually happened to me in real life. And I also liked Separate, because it was really dramatic, and so I kind of liked that as well. Like when I put the show together, originally the idea was for it to be a straight comedy, but when I saw the actors that I had cast, I thought it would be a waste to not be able to let these actors show their range. So, you know, we have our comedic moments, but then we also have the drama, and yeah, I think the actors, I think they pulled it off really well. Well, I know Josh is probably gonna say when I got into the fight with the security guard and got sprayed in the eye with pepper spray, I would not say that was a memorable experience.
Oh man. So one time we're trying to guerrilla style film, and we go into this parking lot, and Steve ends up getting a fight with the security guard. This fool gets pepper sprayed in the face, tries to jump into my car and tell me to drive when the exit's blocked off. I'm sitting there like, yo dude, I can't go anywhere. He's like, go around him. Go around him. And in my head I'm like, motherfucker, first of all, you can't see the fact that there are 2 fucking cars blocking the down ramp. I can't go anywhere. And then I started crying because this shit was so strong. He's in my backseat, and then I can't see anymore. We get fucking cuffed up like criminals and shit. Ellen didn't get cuffed. Motherfucker, that's sexist. You feminists fighting for shit? We should all get cuffed together. Fuck that, I don't care. No, it's cool, but we got all cuffed up. Cops asking us a bunch of questions. I'm like, he's telling us, oh, we're afraid it's a drug deal going on. And I'm sitting there thinking, bitch, I don't have a fucking Prius. An untinted motherfucking Prius. What drug dealer comes up in an untinted fucking Prius, man?
Oh yeah, I have a very, I wouldn't say it's a fond memory, but it's a memory that's etched into the back of my brain, and I've been trying to pull it out ever since. We were shooting a scene with Mr. Stefano, which was the acting coach of Antone. And, you know, we're shooting the scene and the guy just pulled up in it was an ATV, and he had some chickens in the back, and he walked in front of us and he mooned us. You know, and that was insane, and he smiled. He was proud of it.
I would actually have to say the day I was shooting with Phil and Alexis, because Phil, played by Nathaniel Anderson, he got a text while we were filming saying that Osama bin Laden was killed. So that's my story. If anyone is, where were you when Osama bin Laden was killed? I was filming.
Well, I think in a sentimental side, I like the first time we shot. It was really new, and it was like my first time being a part of an ensemble cast in that way, and I just get really touched when I think about that. I do remember I thought it was funny and weird that Devon put on makeup. So yeah, so I remember that, and that kind of sticks with me. But he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it since. So that was fun.
I can sum that up in one word: humility. You got to be humble. I mean, this is a ground level production here. You know, we have a lot of great actors, and since this is improv, you know, you have to be willing to take that direction. You know, sometimes we may go in a particular direction that the director doesn't agree with, but you have to be able to take the criticism, keep moving on, and don't have that higher than thou Hollywood mentality. You know, that doesn't work here.
I would say you have to be prepared for the joke. You have to be prepared for it in the sense that you're on your toes. You know what you're gonna, how your character will respond, and to not be uptight. I think we're like a loose bunch. We get it done, but like we have fun in the process. And I think to be a part of that, to really gel, you have to be loose and enjoy the craft and not be so serious about it.
The advice I'd give to an actor who wanted to work on this show is that when you pull up for the audition, yes, this is a red apartment. No, you didn't take a wrong turn. When you come to film, bitch, you ain't getting craft services. You better eat before you come to set. I learned that the hard way. I used to get up, fucking make sure I made my breakfast, eat my steel-cut oatmeal, put a little bit of maple syrup in that bitch, and then I'd come to work and be like, alright, enough to save me for like 4 or 5 hours. And then the last piece of advice is be funny. That's about it.
I give advice at the end of each season because there's so many people out there who like want to follow their dreams, but there's also so many people who want to, I don't know, like prevent people from reaching their dreams and goals. I mean, it's so many haters out there. And so when I was putting the show together, I wanted to make it where people can see, you know, yeah, you are struggling to get to a point in your career, but other people are also struggling, and other people also face like the negativity and the haters, and everyone has that uncertainty. And so I wanted to make a show that was really positive to give people that feeling like, you know, if it's something you want to do it. Like don't let anyone like keep you from pursuing your dreams. I mean, if it's something that you feel passionate about, then you should do it. It's a tough road, but don't give up on your dreams, I guess would be, if I can have a serious moment here, that would be my advice to people out there.